everything gets taken way too far. Like, why can't we just do small doses and see how it goes?
As popular as these medications are, I still feel like so many people have so many questions.
And somebody asked about it, and I was like, oh my God, that is so stupid. It's true. Hey, y'all.
Welcome back to Hormones Uncorked. Cheers.
Cheers.
What are we talking about today, Stace?
Well, first of all, let me introduce myself in case you didn't miss the first episode that was filmed a whole 5 minutes ago.
Listened to the first episode. Come on.
After our third glass of wine, this is going to be a super fun episode. I'm Stacey Dooley. I'm a nurse practitioner for 16 years, primary care and my own practice of hormones and weight loss. And this is...
I'm Andrea Anderson. I am a nurse practitioner and a owner and founder of Ritual Aesthetics and Wellness. I primarily do facial injectables, and I have 2 other nurse practitioners in my office that are really more so in the wellness side, and they do all the weight loss and hormones, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. So together we are a team.
We are
doing this. We might work in separate spots, but we're here for one goal, and that's to help you feel better and figure out how to do that. So our last episode was our intro episode about all things hormones. And like we told you, we're going to have specialists on and deep dive more into hormones with your questions. But this episode is all about everybody's favorite, and that's the GLP-1 drugs and how they help with your hormones and life in general.
Absolutely.
So let's explain the 2 or 3 medications and almost 4 that are out on the market now.
Okay, so we'll start with the GLP-1s. We have semaglutide and Ozempic. They're the same thing. One's brand, one's generic, but they have one peptide, which is a GLP-1 agonist. Okay, glucagon-like peptide.
Perfect.
So what this medication does is it slows your gastric emptying. It helps you with feeling satiated and regulates your glucose levels.
Mm-hmm. It spits out insulin when you've had too much to eat and kind of controls that. Ozempic has been out since 2017. This is not a new drug. It was just newly sensationalized when it was discovered that it also helps with weight loss. But this medication has been out for 8 years. It's not new.
It's not new. And I want to talk a little bit about peptides first. I want you to think about proteins. Okay. So what makes up proteins? Amino acids, right? And then what makes up amino acids is peptides. Mm-hmm. Yes. So when you have 50 or more amino acids, you have a protein. Anything less than that, you have a peptide. So it's really interesting. And there's a lot of peptides that you know really well, like insulin. Mm-hmm. Insulin is a peptide. There's lots of other medications on the market and many, many, many in clinical trials, and also ones that are just amazing, tried and true. There's all kinds of peptides, but these are the most famous ones.
Yes. So Ozempic originally came out, and that's when the craze happened with Ozempic. And then in 2022, Eli Lilly brought out Mounjaro. And Mounjaro is a 2-in-1 medication. It's GLP-1 and it's a GIP medication as well. So it's 2 medications in one. Zepbound is for weight loss, which is also Mounjaro. And tirzepatide is the generic for Mounjaro, which you can get from Eli Lilly as well, or compounding pharmacies as well.
Correct. So the difference between the first medications that we talked about, the Ozempic and semaglutide, is just a GLP-1, and these medications are a GLP-1 GIP. Mm-hmm. And that's important because the GIP portion works in the craving center of your brain.
Right. It's also we can talk about this later, but I'm going to tell you just to start with, tirzepatide is definitely our favorite. Yeah. It's superior. It works better with what we're trying to do in our practice. It works better than semaglutide. There's no diss in semaglutide. It's just, we see much better response with tirzepatide. So when we say tirzepatide, we're talking about Mounjaro or Zepbound. It is being FDA approved right now for a number of different things. PCOS, which is fantastic because it stabilizes insulin. Hopefully soon we're going to see alcohol addiction because it hits the brain center. So not just food addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, cardiovascular disease, sleep apnea. So, and there's a huge study being done right now on Mounjaro, tirzepatide, and Alzheimer's. So a very big, one of the biggest studies that has been ever conducted is being done right now.
Yeah. And something that a lot of people don't recognize is Alzheimer's is often referred to as type 3 diabetes, right? Because it is sugar in the brain, right? It's inflammation. And this medication is particularly good at reducing inflammation, so much so where a lot of our autoimmune patients get so much improvement and relief from that. It's wild.
Now then there's Trulicity, which is
liraglutide.
Yeah,
which is a GLP-1.
It's a GLP-1, so we're not as familiar with that. And then hopefully coming in 2026 will be retatrutide. It is not FDA approved.
Nope.
It is not used for clinic treatments right now. So that will be far superior to tirzepatide. So it's retatrutide. That is 3 medications in one: GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon inhibitor.
And I think that's in phase 3.
Phase 3 clinical trials right now.
And the clinical trials with the FDA take a really long time.
So they say 2026, let's say 2027.
Yeah.
So let's particularly dive into tirzepatide or Mounjaro or the GLP-1s and why we use them for clinical practice.
I think a lot of people understand that it helps with weight loss, right? Of course. And for me personally, I believe that the hero product here is not necessarily in the weight loss. Mm-mm. It's more so in the reduction in inflammation,
100%,
the reduction in the cravings. I can't tell you how many people tell me, my gosh, I feel so much better. My bloating is gone. My brain fog is better. Their joints feel better. Mm-hmm. The people that have autoimmune disease have less flares. I mean, I've even seen rosacea improve. Mm-hmm. Sweat, like even some of my patients that haven't lost weight, because I take pictures before, like every single
their swelling's improved.
Their swelling is so improved. It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. I saw a study that said you will know your internal organs, your internal body will have such a significant reduction in inflammation before you even notice weight loss.
Yeah.
So it reduces tirzepatide is what they're studying right now. It's reducing cardiovascular disease by 40%. And people say, well, it's just weight loss. No, it's inflammation. Cardiovascular disease and plaque buildup is inflammation in your body. It is reducing Alzheimer's. It is reducing chronic kidney disease. It is reducing autoimmune disease. I have lupus. I take 1 milligram a week. So this is considered a microdose. When we're going to probably talk a lot about microdosing. Right. When we talk about microdosing, we're not talking about microdosing mushrooms. All right, y'all. We're talking about microdosing GLP-1s. And when we talk about microdosing, it is less than 2.5 milligrams a week. So 1 milligram a week-ish. My lupus numbers have never been better. It's fantastic. When somebody says who should be on a microdose of a GLP-1 and I say everybody. Everyone should, because it's so wonderful.
It's wonderful. And I think for me, when I was doing my clinicals, when I was in nurse practitioner school and I was with Stacy for several months training, it was really cool because I got to see firsthand these patients who got on it for weight loss, but they had really high problems with their glucose, with their cholesterol. So they have like the triad, right? They have the diabetes, the
fatty liver disease. And so they may have been on all these different medications, a statin, a blood pressure medication, and, some sort of like maybe metformin. And then you add on this medication, even in small doses, their A1C goes down super fast. Their LDL improves. It's remarkable. Right. And we don't really see people are worried about hypoglycemia with these medications. Right. We don't see hypoglycemia with these medications unless you're not eating. Right. So, that's going to come in a later part of what you need to do. Right. Honestly, if I had to say, I say they're fantastic for literally everyone. Now, there is some people we're going to get criticized. We're saying, well, I have this and I can't take it. There are some people that should not take this medication. Right. You've had pancreatitis. Don't take it. You have a bleeding ulcer. Don't take it. Gastroparesis. Don't take it. If you smoke a lot of pot, you're really likely to have gastroparesis. Yes. So it's probably not a good combination for you. Just saying, not judging your lifestyle, just saying. What else should you not take? It? Breastfeeding, nursing,
Thyroid,
pregnant.
medullary cancer.
Yeah, medullary thyroid cancers. What else?
I think you covered them.
I think I covered them.
I think so.
Other than that, if you start with small doses, then you can see how if you're having a reaction to it, the side effects, and you can see what your lowest threshold is. Let's say that you are taking 1 milligram, you feel great. Maybe you lost 5 pounds. That's all you wanted to lose. You're still working out in the gym. You're still weight training. You're still lifting, but you're actually seeing the results on the scale. For me, what I tell my patients is, a lot of our patients are in perimenopause and they are doing everything right, but they're getting on the scale and not seeing the results. And that is really disheartening.
Yeah.
Like really bad.
It's hard. They'll tell me like, Andrea, I'm in the gym 6 days a week. I don't understand. I'm lifting, I'm running, I'm meal prepping, I'm drinking water, I'm sleeping even. And
I'm taking my cortisol manager.
I'm just gaining weight and I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's really disheartening. And so while these medications are not a fix-all, they are a tool in the toolbox. And oftentimes the starting dose is 2.5 milligrams. Well, if we're talking tirzepatide, right? There's 2.5 milligrams or 5 milligrams or 7.5 milligrams. I often think that even the 2.5 milligrams is overkill.
Yeah.
If, in my opinion, and we should have said, this is not medical advice. This is our opinions. In my opinion, if you
We
are
always
having,
forget to say that at the beginning.
I know. If you are having a lot of symptoms, if you're having really bad acid reflux, if you're having sulfur burps, if you're having really horrible constipation or really horrible diarrhea, or you're vomiting, your dose is too high.
Or you just don't tolerate it well.
And that's not necessary, right? Like I would so much rather a patient microdose it, go low and slow, and just have that reduction in inflammation. Is going to make you feel so much better. Your workouts are going to be more productive and the weight comes off slowly. And that way it's so much more sustainable, right? Because, when you lose a bunch of weight super fast, you're more than likely going to just go right back to your previous habits. And B, you have all this skin laxity. So then nobody wants that.
But then it gives Andrea a job because she puts filler in your face.
I prefer Sculptra, honestly.
Sorry,
for skin
Sculptra.
laxity.
She loves Sculptra. If you want to ask her what her favorite product is, I can tell you right now it's Sculptra. True?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would bathe in Sculptra.
I know you would. Just Sculptra everywhere.
Well, because
it's amazing.
Saved me.
Yeah,
Can
it
I
is.
tell how it saved me?
Yes, please tell how it saved her. This is her plug. Go ahead.
I do
love, we do love Sculptra though.
We do, because it builds type 1 and type 3 collagen. And so it gives you that strength to the skin and it gives you that luminosity, that glow. You can't have it if you have an autoimmune disease. And I'm sorry.
I'm very sad about that.
But it's amazing.
But I wish I could, because it is really amazing drug. Her injectable. It's amazing. It works with your own body to help build it. So it's great.
It is.
But it stimulates like a bit of an inflammation reaction. So honestly, it would probably be fine with autoimmune disease, but the label says don't use it. So,
well, and it's not worth the risk, right?
No, exactly.
We don't want to flare somebody. But anyway, I was basically deformed by a treatment that was done on a product that has since been taken off the market.
Can we say it?
Shh, I don't care.
Quo. So bad.
So they were like, hey, we're bringing on this new product. It's supposed to get rid of cellulite. And we need a model. And I was like, yes, girl, sign me up. I will be your model. And I didn't really have that bad of cellulite, but I did it, right?
It's just like we think that we were fat when we were 21 and we so were not. That's the same. Yeah.
And it made me
deformed.
I had divots in my thighs and butt. And so anyway, that product has since been taken off the market.
I'm sorry she didn't tell you who injected the product into her ass. Me. I did that for her.
Yeah.
You had more than one treatment?
Thank you.
You had a couple treatments?
I had 2. So you and
Okay.
Kate. Mm-hmm. It wasn't your guys' fault. It was the product's fault. Because they
had
tons
I'm saying
of
the
lawsuits.
The Sculptra.
Oh.
When we did the Sculptra.
I thought you did the quote too.
No.
You weren't there yet.
God, no. No, I didn't do the quote.
But she did do the Sculptra.
We did like 9 vials of Sculptra.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. That was a tangent.
Happy to know.
We know that Andrea's ass has Sculptra in it.
My ass and thighs are almost back to normal because of Sculptra.
Wow. Okay. Where were we before that?
Sorry. Let's circle back.
If you want Sculptra, see Andrea. Thanks.
Sorry.
Okay. So anyway, sagging skin. So I really don't prescribe high doses of tirzepatide. Neither do you.
No.
I feel like my patient population, if they need a kickstart, they need something to say. I honestly tell everybody this. If I could take tirzepatide, HRT, a 40-year-old woman that is so frustrated because they feel like shit and they're gaining weight, and put them into a little package and say, let's do this for 6 months and see how you do, they feel so much better.
Mm-hmm. They're very synergistic together.
It works so well together. Yeah. And don't think it's a cop-out. I hate when people say it's just a cop-out. I'm weight training. I'm doing all the things. I still take it. I have lupus. I'm on hormone replacement therapy, but it's so good to just help with everything.
And the other thing is, I think that we see the people that go overboard on it, right? That are just like
Ozempic
emaciated. And so it's kind of like filler, right? It's like when you see the person with so much filler that's all you can see is their duck lips or whatever. It gives filler a bad name, but when done correctly, it looks amazing. Same thing, I feel like, with GLP-1s. People are always going to take things to the extreme, but when you use it in moderation, it's a really beautiful tool. I've been on tirzepatide for a while. I microdose as well. I am not skinny mini, but I feel so good in my own skin. I'm able to maintain my weight. I have healthier eating habits. I don't ever get ravenously hungry. And so I can make smarter decisions. And I think that the other thing is the food noise.
It's gone.
It's gone.
For our patients,
if you've never experienced this, you're like, what are you talking about?
It goes bye-bye. You don't want to walk into like freaking Rayleigh's and be like, I need those Oreos in my life right now, or I'm going to die. It's gone.
Yeah.
So if you like that, then...
I didn't realize how unhealthy my relationship with food was until I started taking this medication. I didn't realize how much I obsessed about food. Because you think, you're like, I'm hungry. I want pizza. No, I should have a salad. Oh, I want pizza. Or like, I want a burger. Nope, you should have a salad. And you go back and forth and back and forth. And it takes up so much mental energy of how much you're fighting with yourself all the time. And it's just like wasted brain power.
Yeah, it's like a little magic thing. It's a little magic shot.
Yeah, you meal prep, you prioritize your protein, your vegetables, your weight training, your water intake, your fiber, and you can just make smart choices, and it's easier to do so.
So in the immediate, you'll see, you might lose 5 or 10 pounds, you'll feel better, everything will be great. But the long-term benefits of this medication aren't even out yet, right? It's only been, let's say, 2 or 3 years. But what they're seeing in trials is this is literally revolutionizing medicine. I have a couple patients that are physicians, that are older physicians, and they said, in our time, it was, Prozac doing, revolutionizing medicine. In your time, it's definitely Mounjaro, because what it's doing for our bodies is incredible for the inflammation. So,
and for me, like I do have Alzheimer's in my family, and so it is a real concern for me. So if there's something that I can do to help keep the inflammation in my brain down, then hell yeah.
For sure. 100%.
Right?
So there's a couple ways to obtain the medication. I have had patients reach out and say, I went to my doctor and they said I'm not fat enough to be on the medication. And that's frustrating. That's almost like gatekeeping hormone replacement therapy, right? Because obviously, maybe the provider just doesn't know the benefits of it, know how to microdose it, know that, this is an option to do along with hormone replacement therapy or by itself. So you can, Eli Lilly has a Eli Lilly Direct that we can order it from. If you are doing less than 2.5 milligrams, you want B12 in it for energy. We can order compounding. So there's definitely different options.
Yeah. And in my practice, we have changed. We were doing compounding medications. We've decided to do Eli Lilly Direct, and we're just working out the kinks on that because there obviously were some changes with the FDA. But I do think it's important to know that there are so many different ways to take the medication, different ways to obtain the medication, and how you need somebody to partner with you that really
and
truly
watch you
understands it. Yes. And that's the thing, is somebody who's going to help you with a bowel protocol, who's going to help you with your nutrition. That's going to,
you need to get the 90 plus grams of protein a day, but you need somebody to watch you too. But at the same time, sorry, y'all, you have to take accountability for your own actions too.
Yeah.
Like you're losing too much weight and you're wanting to be skinny mini. That's not me. Like I don't want that.
No.
I want somebody to be healthy and strong and weight training and doing all the right things and still just using this as a tool and not to be super, super skinny.
Right. Because again, and similar along the lines of the HRT, we really want to maintain our muscle mass. And if you are losing weight really rapidly, some of that is going to be muscle, and can be really detrimental down the line. And so it's good to do low and slow and use it as a healthy, positive tool.
Right. In my practice, I like to microdose it. So sometimes I will use compounded pharmacies as long as we're staying below the 2.5 milligrams. So I do that. Andrea does this. There's other people that will do a different way. Some people prefer semaglutide. That is just not what we prefer. So everybody is different. So just finding out like what works best for you. If this is what's best for you, then, reach out to your provider. And if they're not helping, you can reach out to one of us.
Yeah. And liraglutide is another option as well, which
I've never prescribed it. I have for diabetes.
It's a GLP-1, right? Yeah. And it's a daily shot. So I think initially we're like, oh gosh, a daily shot instead of a weekly shot. But if you're somebody who really wants to tightly regulate how much you're getting, right? And you're very sensitive to it, or say you want to go on vacation and you think you're going to be drinking alcohol or whatever, then you don't take it, right? And so I do think it is got some benefits in that way as well. But what makes me really excited is that more and more peptides are being created because they're just mixing different peptides and compounds. And like I said, like with a peptide, it's anything from 1 to like 50. And so there's going to be more and more and more medications coming out like this down the pipeline, which is really cool.
I think that our generation, or, a little bit below us, is really looking at regenerative medicine.
Yeah.
They're very much into like, what peptides can we do, strength training, how can we make ourselves better for the long term? And so I think it's fantastic that we're doing this. I think it's great we're jumping on the hormone train, that we're doing the peptide train, which tirzepatide is a peptide, semaglutide is a peptide. Yeah. They're all peptides still. So we're jumping on all the NAD. Maybe we'll talk about that at one of our next podcast. We're all kind of jumping on this train of like, let's be healthy for as long as we can, because if we're going to live long, we might as well live quality, right?
And again, there's so many different peptides for all different kinds of things. There's for sleep, for muscle mass, there's one to like help you become more tan.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Sexual dysfunction. There's all kinds of peptides. And because they're such small molecules, they have very specific actions, and that in turn has very much less side effects or reactions, because it has a very specific job to do, because it's very small.
Unless you're coming out the gate and injecting yourself with 2 milligrams of semaglutide, you're going to vomit. Yeah. So you need to have somebody help you regulate that.
Yes, very much so.
That's our little... Oh, you know what? I had a patient did you know that it was originally formulated because I'm going to say it wrong. A Gila monster, they found in the saliva that it was helping. When they looked at the saliva of a Gila monster, it was showing that you appetite cessation. And so they took the saliva of a Gila monster. It is not the same thing at all, but they mimicked the protein to make the GLP-1s. I know.
Where did you even learn that?
Okay, I went some deep diving the other day because I did a webinar with Shivani yesterday on GLP-1s, and somebody asked about it, and I was like, oh my God, that is so stupid. It's true.
Whoops, sorry.
It's not a reptile molecule, but it was derived from the idea of what comes behind the Gila monster saliva.
I don't even know what a Gila monster looks like.
Okay, I looked one up, and there's a lot of reptiles on my computer now, so... I just went down the rabbit hole.
Don't be concerned.
Just like you went down the rabbit hole with Sculptra. I went down the rabbit hole with freaking reptiles.
Well, we do that. We go off on tangents a lot. So.
I'm like, I need to know about this. I need my patients to know all about this. And then I look into it, and then I went down the rabbit hole.
And that's why we love you. It's important to look at literature and research, and not enough people do. Yeah. And not enough people know how to read and sparse out, like, is this reputable? Was this a good study?
The Gila monster is reputable, just letting you know. I looked at like 6 different studies. I'll send one to you.
Was it a meta-analysis? Was it
I don't remember.
peer reviewed?
I don't remember. I was up way too late looking at reptiles. That's all I have to say. Not the reptiles that y'all are thinking of in your head right now. Not the like snakes.
Oh my God. Somebody cut her off. She's had too much wine. We're already
Hormones
there.
Uncorked. Okay. So anyways, what were we saying earlier? Oh, if you want to follow us, Hormones Uncorked at Instagram at Hormones Uncorked. I don't know how it goes. Instagram / at Hormones Uncorked will be out. And you can follow Andrea. She doesn't remember her handle.
Well, my business handle is Ritual Reno NV.
And your website?
And then my website is www.ritualrenonv.
And mine is www.stacydooley.com and at STACIA, Stacia, which is my real name, which we just talked about in the last episode. I will unfollow you if you'd call me that. I'm joking, but really.
Okay. That's all we have for you today.
That's our GLP-1s. If you want to know more about GLP-1s, reach out to us. If you have questions or you have things you want to talk about or you want to listen to or we want to answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are still, like,
it was a quick GLP-1.
Like, as popular as these medications are, I still feel like so many people still have so many questions and there's a lot of misinformation. And so...
Well, I think it was taken too far. I think the media everything is taken way too far. Like, why can't we just do small doses and see how it goes instead of like taking somebody to 98 pounds? Like, I just don't understand.
In a culture where people think more is better.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not okay. So yeah. Anyways, there's my tangent. Okay, don't take it too far.
We will see you on our next episode. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Cheers.
We'll see you next time.
Hormones Uncorked.
Cheers.